And we're back.
It's the Gamble on Ginter podcast. How we doing?
Phenomenal.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas day. I know I did with my family. Amano, how was your Christmas / Hanukkah?
My Christmas Hanukkah was actually pretty damn good. I got this nice fire chair now behind me. It's got a shiatsu massager, so I be sitting here in comfort now. Like, people got to be jealous now at this point. I had a great time with my girl and her family on Christmas Eve. Me and my family did some cheesy shit and wore the same pajamas and t-shirts, and it was actually a damn blast, and I was surprised about it because that shit's usually corny to me. But yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed.
Trill, maybe you could say this because my family does that every year. I feel like that's just a white people thing. Does your family do that as well?
I've never taken part in the matching pajamas. I've always wanted to, but we've never actually done it. This year, it was my first year ever not being in church on Christmas Eve for the first time in 24 years due to COVID. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah, no.
Chill there.
So usually in my family, for my wife's side, right, for the last 8 or 9 years, I've joined her grandparents, and we went to a 9 p.m. service on Christmas Eve. And this person lives in Wellington, Florida, which, if you don't know where we are in Broward County, that's about an hour away. So by the time we get done there, we go and open up gifts. By that time, it's midnight, and I'm driving home on 95 on Christmas Eve. I am so glad I didn't have to do any of that this year. My wife can attest to the same thing. We actually did attend church with my family, like in-house, on December 23rd. The church I go to is wild, where the pastor came in on a camel. We'll talk about that another time.
What?
Pastor rented out because they're using the church money for all the graces of God. Used all of that to ride in on a camel to state like, oh, this is how the 3 wise men came in. And I'm like, that seems like a waste of money.
That's where all those dollar bills in the basket go to.
So real quick, I want to just mention our Christmas Day because one thing we wanted to do, kind of like when the show started, and we've been probably doing the show for about a year and a half. One of the things that I like to do is give out picks to people about 15 minutes before game time to kind of follow along with us to understand that, hey, this is our product and this is, what we're doing, and we're making you guys money in the process. We decided to bring that back Christmas Day to give you guys a lot more special. And we picked all of the NBA games that were going on. Me and my regular co-host, Ryan Gabriel, picked a couple of the games. And we went 3-2 on the games that we gave you publicly. Within our Discord chat, we went 6-3 at a 66% clip. A couple of our wins include Heat -3.5, Bucks -9.5. The over on the Bucks game, Lakers -6.5. The over on the Lakers game, and Saints -6.5. 6 out of 6 games, 9 winners. We lost 2 of them on that Clippers game last night. It is what it is, but it was a very, very profitable day for us. So if you haven't joined our Discord chat, let me invite you. If you follow on our Twitter page, it's very easy to see, right? You go right there, the first link, we have it tagged. You can join the Discord chat. You can get some information regarding how you can get into our program. I am offering a special deal. Daniel didn't authorize me to do so, but
I never authorize you to do anything. You just do things.
But I'm gonna do it. So 365 days of picks. I'm offering it for a low rate of $89 if you sign up by the end of today. So join us in the Discord chat. Guys, it's a small investment to basically, I promise you, by the end of the week, if you are betting correctly, you will make your money back. It is an investment that is best for you to continue to make money because we are following this stuff. We are making money on our end. Continue to follow us on our end. But it's time. Willie, we have you joined in. We got you in all expertise in college football, NFL football, NBA.
We have one of those rare weekends where on a Saturday we're getting all three. We're getting the NFL, NCAA. Actually, kind of four because I think there's also NCAA basketball.
There is NCAA basketball. There's a couple games that I wanted to look in there as well. But we're going to make what we do, and we started doing probably our favorite segment to do. We're going to make the daddy parlay, right?
That parlay party. Let's go.
Parlay party. So what we're going to do is usually it's been reserved specifically to college football, which out of the 3 or 4 sports that we do, it's probably our worst. And we do still pretty well. We're still over 50%. With a lot of our picks in college football. But now we're going to expand it. We're going to, do some of the NBA games. We're going to do the NFL games and the NCAA games. But first, I wanted to talk about the Christmas Day action. Will, what were your thoughts in a lot of the games? What stood out to you watching the games yesterday?
Being a Heat fan, of course, I think Precious gave us some great minutes coming off the bench yesterday. The fact that we didn't have to bring Bam back in to close out that game was a big thing to me. He gave us great minutes. Dragic played great coming off the bench. We didn't even have Jimmy for the second half of the game, and we were able to basically hold on to that lead. Every other game after that, it basically went how I thought it would. The only game that was, I guess, semi-competitive or watchable was the Boston and Brooklyn game, but even that got lopsided at a point.
Yeah, God mode.
To me, overall, best game of the day, Heat Pelicans or the Clippers Nuggets, because Kawhi ends up dying at like 12:30 last night. I go on Twitter, he's got blood coming out of his mouth, he's got a concussion, all types of wild shit. So, and the Clippers almost with 20-point lead again to the Nuggets. So overall, those were my 2 only good games. Everything else, that 2 to 8:30 frame, it was just taking up time. You just need to watch basketball. Those games didn't matter.
They were filler games. I loved the Heat game though, because I loved what I saw out of the Heat. I think the most impressive person for Miami yesterday may have actually been Precious, because Precious was playing lockdown D, like it was so solid, and this man was running up and down the court effortlessly, like he was moving like a guard, but playing the paint like he should have. And it was crazy because you could see him guarding small forwards, power forwards, centers. It didn't matter. He was shutting down everybody. I really liked what I saw there. Miami definitely showed a lot of strength, and even Avery Bradley stepped up to the plate. I think a lot of people underestimated him getting signed in the offseason, and a lot of people discounted him because Jay Crowder had such a good season last season, and we didn't really see anything out of Avery Bradley since he decided to not go to the bubble. But Avery Bradley still got it. They kept saying it, and you kept seeing it. He's an elite defender. Don't give him any credit below that. Like, he's a great defender. He's definitely filling the role that Jay Crowder did. If anything, he's helping because he's a little more flexible in the guard area. And now we have Precious to where Precious could fill the forward through center area.
Some trends that I noticed regarding the games that went on yesterday. First of all, the favorite was 5-0 yesterday. So the favorite won every single Christmas Day game. And the over in a lot of those games, because there was not a lot of defense being played in all of the games. If you saw, we had, and granted, I think we had 2 top 5 worst defenses in the NBA playing in Dallas and Golden State. They're going to be awful defensively all season long. And they showed out. So the over was 4-1 yesterday. The Heat game, I think the most impressive person to me was Avery Bradley. I think Precious fills that role that if you wanted to beat the Lakers, that's the guy that could have helped. The ability to be the big, to be able to rebound and get those guys off the floor, to put another body on Anthony Davis. That would
create space.
The most impressive thing that I saw, though, was Brooklyn. Brooklyn was just seeing Kyrie and KD playing at that level, they didn't really need much help. They have a deep team, but I mean, both of them kind of just said, get out of the way. It's our team. We've got this for the year. And although I think long term, matchup problem is going to be Miami, because Miami can throw a lot of different guys. And you're not going to stop Kevin Durant, but you could throw a lot of guys on him and hope to contain him. Miami has that ability to switch. The other games kind of, came out flat. A lot of these teams are trying to figure out their rotations. So you're not going to see as competitive basketball as maybe you'll see come January and February, which usually when you get to Christmas Day, teams are locked in and ready to go. This is the second game of the season. This is essentially preseason basketball that we're seeing. So you got to kind of take it as if you're betting preseason trend. You got to know, okay, who's got their rotation set and who's still trying to figure out what matchups go with what. So again, underwhelming in the sense of, we expected better games, but you really saw the class of the NBA, Brooklyn and the Lakers dominate. And it looks like the Clippers somehow have improved as well. So, yeah, those are my reactions there. Real quick on Alvin Kamara, because this needs to be mentioned. I saw Trill, you had him on more of your.
I know. He saved Trill in fantasy football from what I'm hearing. Trill, tell us the story real quick. What happened?
So I'm playing against my co-host, Chloe, in our championship league for no money, just a lot of bragging rights. And, yeah, Alvin Kamara, 56 fantasy points. I remember I tweeted it literally after the first touchdown. I was like, okay, he went 40 yards untouched. I like it. Then he got a second touchdown on like a 1 yard run. I was like, oh, yeah, Kamara's going off today. He had 19 points, like 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then I took a nap. And then I woke up. And he had 5 touchdowns. And I was like, oh my God. And then he had 6. And I'm like, oh, 56 points.
Shootout had a 7th, but they just had to give Taysom Hill his equal touches.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, look, Alvin Kamara, it's like Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook. You can really pick your poison at this point. Everyone's going to give you 100-plus yards, multiple touchdowns, especially these last couple of weeks. I feel like these coaches are going to lean heavily on these running backs, especially these 3 I just named. Like, they're basically the driving forces behind each and every team. Because let's face it, Mike Thomas isn't getting back till the playoffs. If that, Dalvin Cook has Adam Thielen and a rookie receiver on the outside. And we know Derrick Henry just has A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, who's starting to finally play like the 4th pick overall. So all of those running backs will be the driving force. And, yeah, if you don't have them, be ready to be disappointed by them this weekend because they're going to go off.
Hey, listen, if your team gives up 6 touchdowns, and I saw this somewhere, and I fully agree, you should have to give up a draft pick. If you give up 6 touchdowns to one dude, I think that should be a game. Like we're going to see a lot of coaching changes. Minnesota is one they should think of because after the game, Mike Zimmer just said this is the worst defense I ever had, and you're the defensive coach. You just got a 50-burger put up on you by a team that you beat last year. You beat them last year. Like, you beat them in the playoffs. Like, that's on you, bro. You should – and I just imagine, because I see Mike Zimmer – man, I can only imagine him trying to coach someone like Juju Smith-Schuster if he had that same situation. Like, at least how can you connect with a kid like that? Like, can you imagine him trying to connect with Justin Jefferson? Like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, what does Mike Zimmer have any relation to? I think there's going to be wholesale changes in the NFL, and Mike Zimmer needs to go. He's a good defensive coordinator. I think he needs to just focus on that. But running a team like you, as bad as your defense played, You need to take accountability. You need to make sure, especially if you were the defensive guy, just the same criticism I had for Adam Gase when he was down here. When the offense sucked and you're supposed to be the offensive guy and you were blaming the outside receivers that they couldn't get open. No, man, scheme them. Get open. There's ways you can do it. You have Jarvis Landry. You could scheme him open. I promise you. But, yeah, that's my reaction to that game. Kudos to Alvin Kamara. He dominated. He absolutely dominated.
He's on pace now to break 1,000 yards this season. He has 16 touchdowns. I think the most impressive thing about him yesterday was the fact that he only had 155 yards rushing.
Right.
And he only had 17 reception yards.
I see our co-host just coming in. They beat him last year. That happened last year. That was on the Kyle Rudolph touchdown at the end where he completely threw the guy off. They beat them last year in the playoffs in the wild card.
That's 2 years in a row then.
That's 2 years in a row, sir. Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
And that's the payback. Sean Payton really don't like. He is the dude. If you get behind in Madden, he gonna beat you 60-14. Like he's Bill Belichick back when he had Randy Moss and Tom Brady. Like he will run up the score. But yeah, again, kudos to Alvin Kamara and fire Mike Zimmer. So, all right, we're gonna start the parlay party. I see that our co-host is in on the chat. So if you got picks, Ryan, throw them in there. We'll throw them in the parlay party if we like them. We'll start with the NFL because there's only 3 games on in the NFL. Shout out to you, Ryan, from Just Ryan. So we've got 3 games in the NFL. First game that we have today is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on Detroit. Detroit is a home doggy by 10 points at home against a Buccaneers team that needs this game in order to make the playoffs. And Tom Brady needs to make the playoffs. The first time in his 17-year career where he's healthy that he is not going to win the division. 10 points seems like a lot, especially for this Tampa Bay team who struggled last week with Atlanta.
I'll say this. I see the over-unders at 54.5. I think I'm going with the over because I don't see the Bucks just laying over, or not the Bucks, the Lions just laying over and dying. I think they could cover, but also it's like how you just said. I think Brady is in that fierce hunger mode. So he could win by 10, but I like the over. It's at 54.5.
I'll agree. I've got that over for sure as well. I see it being like a 14-point game, maybe a 2-possession game. I see, like you said, the Lions aren't going to lay down, and Matt Stafford, Marvin Jones, they're going to come out there slinging it. But at the end of the day, AB, Mike Evans, Gronkowski, Chris Godwin, it's just way too much to deal with on the other side. So overall, without Matt Patricia as well, who they got rid of earlier in the year, I think that the Tampa Bay Brady's role in the situation.
So I kind of lean the other direction just because it's at home, the home 10-point spread. Like that's a lot of points. It's a lot of points to be giving a team on the home. But where I want to take this would be, okay, so for the parlay party, I think with this game, I feel comfortable buying up. No matter what we do, I want to buy down or buy up. So with the over, you want to get it. So the number I'm thinking of, because that is a high over under. Detroit doesn't play defense at all in any shape or form. And the one thing Detroit does well is they are a really good passing team. And the Buccaneers have one of the best run defenses. So I think, honestly, if you have a prop on over-under throws for Matt Stafford, take the over. I don't care if the number's 60. Like, I think Detroit's going to come out there and they are just going to sling the ball over the field. So you're thinking, okay, can Detroit get me 24 points, right? So if they get you 24 points, if the number is 54, then you're going to need at least 31 points from Tampa Bay. I think that's very doable. I think a 31-24 game is kind of where we're thinking. Tampa Bay has shown that they can put up some points. But again, if you think Detroit's going to get to that 24, and you think it's going to be close tie game or a 27 or something like that. I would think, hey, you want to get it down to like a 48 and a half for that game, making it, okay, score 7 touchdowns, which I think is very doable. So what do you guys think from there? Do you think, because I'm also fine with buying up Detroit to 14 and a half, making it a 2-possession game, giving you that two possession kind of game. So you more comfortable betting the over like 48 and a half, or pushing back on the lines, or even getting the Bucks at, let's say, -6?
I mean, I like the alternate line idea. I just think that the 10 points is still a safety net. I think there's already enough cushion there if you really wanted to go with the spread, but I get what you're trying to say, because Detroit might really come out slinging. I don't know. I'd rather just stick with the over where it's at. I don't see nothing really being needed to change in this game personally.
So you're saying we're gonna hit 54 and a half. You think?
I think we'll hit 54 and a half. Trill, back me up here. I know you got me.
Yeah, I'm actually sadly got to agree with Namano right here. Not really into buying points in this game, just for the simple fact that it's Tom Brady. It's the Lions on an interim head coach right now. Looking at it on paper, thinking about it real quick, it's Tom Brady. It's Bucks by, like Ryan said, Bucks by $1 billion. Like, there's no thought process about it at all.
Yeah.
And over, yeah.
So I think the consensus is, I think we're going to take the over the way it is. I've been outvoted, which happens on this show. We're going to take the Bucks. We're going to take it the spread on, and we're going to take the over for this game. The next game that we have is only found on Amazon Prime Video. I don't get like what they're doing like with that.
I'm trying to make some money. It's marketing.
You could crack streams. You could still, I'm sure, find a way. Like if you don't have an Amazon Prime account, but God, any kind of argument that 5.5 points that San Francisco covers this. No Nick Mullins, for whatever that's worth. Mostert's out for the season. They've been banged up all year. I got a stat for you regarding Arizona. Arizona's won 9 of the last 11 against San Francisco, and there's been nowhere near as good as Arizona teams as are playing this year. I love Arizona.
I guess
I'm checking this right now on game.
It's 5.5 minus 5.5. Arizona is technically at home, although right now it's both teams' home stadium.
Okay. I've definitely got I mean, hell, in this case, this would be the game I buy points. I buy up to at least 7.5, minus 7.5 for Arizona, just because.
You want better odds? You think Arizona's gonna kill them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you said no Nick Mullins. Raheem Mostert's out for the year. Don't get me wrong. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. We've seen him plug people in and out, have the offense still flowing. But you're down to C.J. Beathard and Jeff Wilson Jr., I think, in your backfield.
Now, you do get Kittle back. Now, that is a big listen, Kittle is a big deal to get back. But I think it's a little too little too late. First of all, I don't understand why Kittle's back. Like that
Exactly.
is a player. And he had a really serious injury. I think it was he broke something.
Well, I'll say this. If you take Arizona on the alternate line, you said 7.5, right, Trill?
7.5.
If you take them at 7.5, that's plus 125. You could take them for 6.5, and then that'll be at plus 110 to just try and go for that one touchdown. I think that may be a little bit of a better odd, but I would probably stick with the 5.5. I think
I would stick with the 5.5 because it's just that 6 number. That 6 is a touchdown. It's a fair number. It gives you a touchdown point. I mean, we've all experienced Cody Parkey in our lives.
Yep.
We're haunted by that. So that extra point does matter. And that extra point, not going through doesn't exactly bury us. I like Ryan's with you. He wants the -7. He says maybe like that may be a good single bet. For the sake of the parlay, I'm taking the spread itself. the last game we have, and I will be in the ATL to watch this game with a bunch of Dolphin fans. There's bigger Dolphin fans in other places than are down here, but I'm very excited. I got my Tua jersey on, ready to go for that game. However, the game scares me. It really does. But I'm always nervous going into Dolphin games. They play the Raiders. They're -3 on the road against the Raiders. It looks like Derek Carr's going to play. Looks like Josh Jacobs is healthy, ready to go. The Dolphins will not have their best pass rusher, they won't have Shaq Lawson. They'll still have Agba. But it is nerve-wracking. I remember the last time the Dolphins got 3 points on the road going out to the West. It was that debacle against Denver.
This is a game where I think the over might look beautiful, but I still feel like, fuck it. Miami's been taken on my last 2 picks, I think it was, my last 2 locks, and they've
you had the over in the Chiefs-Dolphins game, which hit, and you had the Dolphins last week against the Patriots, which kudos to you. That ended up being a great pick.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Miami because they've been helping me out, and I'm going to stick with that 3 points, but I think the over would be the safer bet.
What's that over-under at?
It was at 48.5. I think it just showed on. Let me double check. Yeah, 48 flat.
48. It's at 48 flat. I like the over in that game. Just on everything. But am I fully? Dolphins got a good defense.
Yeah, but Shaq Lawson's out. Josh Jacobs had a solid season. Derek Carr's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I'll be this devil's advocate. How would you like that over? How much do you like it better at, let's say, 44.5? So you're thinking 6 touchdowns and a field goal.
I mean, I think that's a safer bet too. What's it looking like on that alternate line?
Get you the odds on that because I think the better bet. I hate the spread for this game because I could see it both ways. I could see the Dolphins losing this game. I can also see them coming up guns blazing. Like if I'm under the assumption that the Dolphins are winning this game, I'm thinking they're going to keep it lower. I think they're going to keep it more of a 24-17 game, something like that. They're going to want to keep it a little bit lower. So we can do 2 things. So 44.5 is -1.
Yeah, it's at -170 right now.
That's really good odds. That's really good odds, and it gives you that 40. So if you get 6 touchdowns to get it to 42, you would get it at a 45-point game. You would get it. So that's 24-21, which is exactly the spread. So 24-21 Dolphins. It's a push for the Dolphins, and the over hits. So Ryan likes the Raiders, and Ryan has had a lot of success betting on the Raiders this year. So that is worth noting. I'm scared of the spread in this game. I think I like the over. I think if I read correctly, and I have the public odds on that game, the over is getting about 98% of the money as of right now. It's gone up a point from what's going on. So that's what makes me nervous to get it at its current value. But Vegas knows what they're talking about. So buying points in this instance, getting it down to 45, I think is going to be. I think it will go over generally, but I think getting -170 because we've got 2 plays right now on the regular spread. That will be the play for me.
Okay.
The more I think about it, and I've just looked over the Raiders' schedule. The Raiders have been terrible at home this year.
It's very weird. Now, they had that one game against the Chiefs where they were dominant, where they literally played the perfect game, and then Patrick Mahomes happened.
Exactly.
But record-wise, it doesn't tell the whole story. They had a tough game against Buffalo. Miami, both teams need this game. This is going to be one hell of a matchup.
Oh, for sure. For me, It's crazy, especially with the history I have with the Dolphins and everything of that nature. If it was a home game for the Dolphins, correct me if I'm wrong, but they would be a 6-point favorite because they would be the home team and they're already getting 3 points being on the road, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I've got to roll with the Dolphins here. That over under being at 48. Unfortunately, I'm taking it just for the simple fact that I can see this game going to halftime at 14 all or 14-17, and you're already at 30 points right there.
Yeah.
And basically, all you would need is another touchdown and then a field goal. That's it.
And for this game, I can see it both ways with the over-under. I can see you buying it down to get the over. I can see you buying it up to get the under. I can see it, like, if you want to get the under at 52.5, something like that, I feel like you're good. But I think minus 170 odds, give me that game over at 44.5. Give me 24-21, and let's roll with it. Hopefully the Dolphins get a dub there. Moving on over to college football, we only have 3 games, none that I really like, but there is one team that I see out here, at least one game that we have to have on here, and it could be blind, it could be whatever you want, but Amano, it's our beloved Coastal Carolina.
I was gonna say earlier you said that like we've been rough with college football. If there's one thing that hasn't been rough about college football, it's motherfucking Coastal Carolina, and they actually come to our house. They're coming to Orlando. And they're playing Liberty.
Stadium. Yep, they get the Liberty Flames, Hugh Freeze, and them boys
in the Cure Bowl. You want to know why they call this the Cure Bowl?
Why do they call it the Cure Bowl?
Because when McCall blesses Liberty, he's going to cure everybody of this pandemic, and he's going to remind everybody what we have, and everything's just going to go back to normal because Coastal Carolina will heal the world.
Liberty's good for Carolina.
If they can restore the world and bring us back to harmony, kill COVID, then that's great. I'm all for it. I'm a Coastal Carolina Chanticleer at that point.
I agree.
I think it's possible. It's definitely possible.
I agree. They're getting -7 in this game to a team, again, that beat a team like Virginia Tech earlier this season. Liberty's not like a bad team. They are in this game for a reason. They are 9-1 on the season. Coastal showed a lot of moxie against BYU, but they were 10-point underdogs in that game. They are 7-point favorites in this game. Again, you can have your own parlay for this one. I'm tending to just go Coastal money line in this game. I think they'll win. I think it will be a close game. I really like. I think Liberty is a lot better than teams give you credit for. It's bowl season.
Pete, is there something you haven't learned, Pete? Is there something you haven't learned? Ryan, I need you here. I see him already getting very hype in the chat. And if there's something you haven't learned, Pete, it's take the fucking rope. I'm taking Coastal Carolina -7. I don't give a shit. Cure us of the pandemic. Exactly. Thank you, Ryan. That's what we're out here for. Coastal fucking Carolina, the Fighting Grayson McCalls. -7. What happened to buy it up to 10? What happened, Pete?
Okay. They were playing Appalachian State when I said that. Appalachian State, Liberty is much better. Much better. And we're trying to make people money here at the same time, right?
Yes, so Coastal Carolina -7.
I'm outvoted. Coastal Carolina -7. Again, I think the spread is about right in this game. That's the only thing that worries me is just what Liberty can score. Liberty may be able to play within this game. Again, it freaks me out, but again, my co-host has the rope. He's right. It's the last time we get to bet Coastal Carolina this season in college football. Their college basketball team is actually a top 10 offense as well. So just keep an eye on that. There's tons of value in Liberty in this game too if you want to go the other way. But we have to hold on to the rope as a show.
Yes, we have to hold on to the rope. Willie, I don't know if I ever explained you the rope, but you gotta.
Oh no, you definitely explained it to me. Just looking at this game, I'm with Pete. You can go either way with it because this Liberty team is nothing to sleep on. The only close games they played this year have been against actual good teams: FIU, Virginia Tech, NC State, Syracuse. They've beaten multiple Division One teams this year. Their only loss is to 23rd ranked NC State by 1 point a little more than a month ago. -7 for Coastal Carolina. I feel like they're going to show the world today that they should have been in a New Year's Six Bowl. This
They
is
should
going
have
to
been
be
a top 10 team this season if we're being real.
Game
Oh,
and one of the best bowls of the season. I saw Georgia Cincinnati. I'd rather watch this game.
exactly. I feel like this is what's my question over under on this game. How about that?
So almost 60.
I was going to say, I think the over could even hit.
Both teams can. I think Liberty's more known for their offense, but both teams can score.
Grayson McCall. Grayson McCall. Probably better than Trevor Lawrence at this point in my eyes.
They got a good.
My eyes are partially blind probably to most people, but I don't give a shit.
That's crazy.
So we've been outvoted by the rope. Take it for what it is. We have the rope. So
hashtag give us the rope. Coastal Carolina -7. Sugar Bowl.
So we're taking the rope in that game. Don't see anything else in college football that I really like for today. There's nothing. They're giving us pennies here. So the last thing we'll do.
Let's talk NBA before Trill got to go.
Yeah, because we do have. It looks like a lower line today for a lot of the NBA games, and again, we've been really successful so far in NBA basketball games. Right now, for the season, let me just total it up for you guys. We are at 6-3. Same thing that we are what we were last night. We are at 6-3 in the NBA with just the regular on the money picks. You add some of the wins that we had last night. We're sitting at 9, 10, and we're sitting at 10-4 the NBA this season. So we already have a lot of these sort of games going on now. I'm just going to run down some of the lines here that we have in the NBA tonight. We have Hawks Grizzlies. That's the first one. I know Trill, you're really high on Ja Morant. This Hawks team looks very improved. You're getting the Grizzlies, who are getting a lot of the money at -1.5 in this game. I
got them at -2. I see.
You got them at -2.
Let me see it. Maybe could have updated.
I got one. Well, it's showing me the best odds of someplace. So at MGM, you can get this for 1.5. If you have a different books, I'm actually watching it move as we speak to -2.5. Literally, the line moved as I just mentioned that. So, wow. So if you're getting it -2 right now, I think I tend to lean Grizzlies for this game. Public's leaning Grizzlies as well. Trey, what do you think?
I'm leaning Grizzlies as well, just for the simple fact that Ja Morant dominates this point guard matchup. He did it last year when he matched up with Trae Young. He presented a lot of problems for him to score and also try to defend Ja coming down the other way as well. I think if Ja gets just a little bit of help tonight, whether it's from Dylan Brooks, Brandon Clark, anyone of that nature, they'll get the job done. I've got Grizzlies getting this up.
Atlanta started this one as a favorite. A lot of the money has gone on Memphis, as it should, for their home team. I know it doesn't matter as much. And again, Atlanta is improved. Gallo, John Collins, Trae Young, they still can't play defense. And I think overall, this is a game where you got to start with a point guard matchup. Who's going to have the ball in their hand the most? Both teams are going to score. The over-under is at 238. That's high, but you're going to see a lot more of those going forward. Give me Atlanta, or give me Memphis in this game.
Yeah, I like Memphis as well, -2. So I think that's.
You like them at the -2? Don't want to buy a money line.
No, I think 2 points is about fair. Ja Morant showed in the first game already. He's ready to go.
Cool. Let's see. So there was another one that I really liked. Again, it's weird that favorites were the winners yesterday, because I like a lot of favorites on this. Just looking at it, just kind of looking at it on the basis. So Thunder Hornets. This is actually one that I may take the underdog in. The Thunder at +2.5 on the road against the Hornets. I don't think the Hornets should be favored in any game this season.
No. I think they
Not
lost their
until
first
LaMelo
game,
Ball
right?
scores a point at the very least.
He's got. I mean, I think last game was kind of just a fluke. He showed promise. He's got little things. He's just got to get used to the NBA tempo. Which again, you only had 2 preseason games to do it. You didn't have time to really get into the flow of the offense. And it's just like for what LaMelo does, SGA is a bad matchup because he can do everything that LaMelo does and better.
And now OKC is Shy's team. And I don't think they played yet either, OKC. So this is actually their first game. I think they're ready to go.
Was the benefactors of the Harden Strip Club incident.
Yep.
Yeah. So my first
That's going to go down in history, the Harden Strip Club debacle.
So 2 of my first 3 fantasy picks have not played yet. James Harden and SGA. So wonderful. Fantastic. Thank you, Brandon Ingram, though.
Yeah, and I definitely like OKC.
I'm like, that's a good big 3, though. That's solid.
We're loving it. We really do. So I'm going to take the points here just because we're given points. Because we haven't seen Oklahoma City. I'm getting them at +3 on my end. I'm just going to take the points. Money line is interesting at +135. But I like Oklahoma City. You guys confident enough to take the money line here?
I'm going to take OKC +3. I think that's a little bit of a better situation right there.
Cool. Yeah, this parlay we have, I can tell you, we have a lot of straight lines. We don't have a lot of alternate spreads like we usually do. Again, this is a $5-10 bet for you guys. We do it for the show. We do it for the spectacle. It's not something we advise throwing serious money at, but it's a way we can break down a lot of the games that are going on. So again, this is fun. We're going to see how much we're going to be able to win out of this later, but we will have our locks later that you could put your money on, that you could put your serious money on. So we've got Orlando, Washington, have no interest in that game. Cleveland, Detroit, no interest in that game. I think we're all in agreement there, correct?
Yeah, I think one that I would actually add to it and take Toronto at San Antonio. And Toronto is 2.5-point favorites. And that's at -110. I think I would add that on there, to be honest with you.
You like Toronto on the road going into San Antonio, who I thought San Antonio looked really good, and Toronto did not. Toronto, who did Toronto lose to? Was it? It was New Orleans that they lost to.
It was, but I think you got to give everybody a second to find their groove. A lot of teams come off to those kinds of starts where they have these like rough first games, and other teams, especially with younger guys like San Antonio does right now, they'll step up and get those quick little victories at the beginning of the season. But I think Toronto can bounce back in this game. I like Toronto to win by 2.5.
My biggest question is if Pascal decides to show up today, because I mean he's really the only question about Toronto.
He's the X factor for sure.
I don't understand. He's so talented, and he kind of came out of nowhere 2 years ago to a absolute. I think he was an absolute beast. He was an all-star through the entirety of last season. There was no argument. He got to the bubble. Something happened. Something happened where he's now back to role player, and he can't be that. He needs to be.
Maybe he needed those fans around him.
His days of carrying a team are over for Kyle Lowry. Fred VanVleet is streaky. They need consistency. That's what worries me about this game. Necessarily, if I wanted to go Raptors and Spurs, because I think the Spurs are a little bit better than people give them credit for. and I don't know. I don't know what kind of Raptors team I'm going to see.
Yeah, and I just realized that Rye put up a great situation. They lost Ibaka, which is another thing.
Ibaka and Gasol.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So yeah, maybe that. All right, so I'll switch it up then for you. The game I see after that actually also was looking at this: Minnesota at Utah. Minnesota is 9-point underdogs,
So Utah looked really good again.
but good enough to hold Minnesota out by 9 points.
Minnesota is kind of an anomaly. Now that's the bigger spread that I saw. I'll give you my absolute one that you want to give right after this one. But I do like Minnesota a little bit. I mean, it depends. What kind are we going to see the same inspired cat that we did the first game? It is a little bit of a Gobert versus Cat. That's a great matchup. With the way that those styles. Cat's going to be able to take away Rudy Gobert from the basket where they're going to have to follow him. So what can the other parts of the team do? Can Ricky Rubio take advantage of that Utah team? But I mean, who can Minnesota put on Donovan Mitchell?
Well, let's ask Trill because Trill got a couple minutes left, so let's let him get his take on this, and then we'll let him go.
All right. So with this game, 9-point favorites for Utah. I'm gonna go with Utah winning, but I will take Minnesota beating this spread and losing by less than 9 points, just because I think they're a very good team, up and coming. D'Lo, Cat, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley. You've got a nice young core right there that at the end of the day, they know how to get buckets. And don't get me wrong, the Utah team, you've got Donovan Mitchell, who got paid. You got Rudy, who got paid as well this summer.
They're fueled up.
Can take that next step. Mike Conley, Bohan, however you want to pronounce it, and Joe Ingles.
Yeah.
Those are the three, I feel like, X factors or question marks.
Ricky Rubio too. Ricky Rubio had an off game his first game.
Exactly. If they show up, then Utah will blow them out. No questions about it, because you know what Donovan's going to give you each game. You know what Gobert's going to give you. But if they don't show up and you give the Timberwolves the opportunity to start fast and come out hot, Cat's going to stretch Gobert out to the three-point line. And Donovan Mitchell's going to have to guard somebody, whether it's Anthony Edwards or D'Lo or Beasley. So at the end of the day, go Utah getting this W, but not by those 9 points. That's insane.
Yeah, and we got to let you get to your other show. I can't thank you enough for being on here. Real quick, since you are on the show, give us your lock. Give us your lock of the week.
Yeah, whether NFL, NCAA, NBA, what you thinking, Trill?
Lock of the week, real easy. Ravens, we're favored by, I think, 10.5, maybe 11 points.
Right now, let's see.
Right now.
Exactly. So, and we're going against the Giants. Golden Tate's not playing. Just smash the Ravens. That's the safest.
Yeah, 10 points. They're 10-point favorites, minus 105.
Ravens 10. All right, we're gonna let you go, man. Have a good show on what you're doing, and thank you for joining us.
Much love, Trill Clinton. Be easy, brother.
Be easy, guys.
All right. So again, thanks to Trill for joining us, giving us his basketball knowledge. It's basketball, football. I mean, it's much needed. He knows his stuff. Make sure you follow and watch their show, Nothing But Facts, one of our brother shows. A couple of games that I see here that I really like. One, Indiana -5 over Chicago. Chicago looked like the worst team in basketball.
They looked absolutely atrocious the other night. It was horrible.
If you're getting -5, you're taking Indiana. You're taking Indiana at -5 for that game. So are we confident enough to put in the Timberwolves in this one?
I'm confident enough to add the Timberwolves to that whole situation. I do think they keep the game within 9. As good as Utah looked in the first game, it's like how Trill said, they had some pieces that they could be the entire X factor in the entire game. It all depends on if those people show up. And we already talked about it earlier, how with Teams like San Antonio, they have these young guys getting off to hot starts, and they're looking pretty decent. I can see Minnesota turning some things around, and potentially keeping this game within 9 points. I'm not saying that they're going to win guaranteed. I'm not locking that in, but to keep it within 9 points, I would add it in.
The Houston game where you're getting plus 7.5 on Houston actually looks really interesting, but I'm staying away for all Houston games.
I would absolutely stay away from Houston with everything.
Clarity on exactly what James Harden is and what he's going to be, and then the last game I see on here that's playable. I like Phoenix minus 3.5 against.
I was going to add that one too. I do like Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is. Some teams are saying that's a top 5 team in the West. I don't necessarily think that, but what I can say to you is Phoenix is an up-and-coming team. They're building something special. I really like them. So let's see what the daddy parlay looking like. Let me just go through our picks that we have. Right? So, and these are all pretty much on the standard spread. So do with that what you will. So Arizona minus 5.5. Coastal Carolina minus 7 because of rope. Over 54.5. Tampa Bay, Detroit.
Hold on. So Coastal was minus 7. You said Tampa Bay, Detroit was over at what?
54.5.
54.5. Okay.
Over 46.5. I got 46.5. What just changed on here? I think we had it at.
I think because you were looking at the alternate lines as well, weren't you?
Well, yeah, but I had it at something changed. Like something changed with this line while we were talking. So I'm gonna investigate. We had it at 44.5. So put it at 44.5. Memphis is up to minus 2.5 now. Still like it.
Yeah, still like that one.
Oklahoma plus 3.
OKC, right?
OKC plus 3.
There we go.
Missing one? Oh, Phoenix. OKC plus 3. We have Indiana.
And they were at what, minus 5?
They're at minus 5, and then minus 3.5 for Phoenix. So let me find out.
Did you add Minnesota to that?
Minnesota is in there as well. Minnesota plus 9.
Okay.
All right. Let me see what was going on with the if you can promote whatever you want to promote for the time being, Imano, while I figure out what the heck happened.
We're about to post these pics right up here for you guys now. All right, there we go. The parlay party of the week: Arizona minus 5.5, Coastal minus 7, Tampa Bay, Detroit over 54.5, Memphis minus 2.5, OKC plus 3, Indiana minus 5, Minnesota Timberwolves plus 9, and then the Phoenix Suns minus 3.5. $5 bet gets you what, Pete?
So that's what we're figuring out. That's what I'm figuring out right now, only because I just got to get the right line that we had on that Miami game, because that changed from 46.5 to 40. It went from 44 to 46 on me, and I was confused. That line directly went up to 49. So we're getting a lot of action on that over for that game. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's fluctuating. Well, in the meantime, while you get the final amount, just something to tell the people real quick. We have a segment on the show called Caps Lock, where every single week Pete is a man of many hats, and I don't mean that as a man of many talents. He's very limited on his talents, but one of his very good talents is picking winners for all of you. And he'll take his hat, he'll show you the winner, and wear the hat very proudly, and show you everybody that he thinks is going to win money. With that being said, if you like making picks and you have a pick that you think will win a lot of money, or that you just think is a lock for the week overall, take a picture with your hat on, send it in, tag us at Gamble on Ginter, hashtag Caps Locks. These are all required. And if your team does win, we'll give you 3 months free completely in our Discord chat. So this way you could understand the community, and yeah, let's see how that goes.
And this was authorized?
Yeah, this is authorized. This is authorized.
This is
understood and accepted. But yes, 3 months free in the Discord chat. You get premium picks, 3 months. And right now is prime time. NFL's still going. NCAA and basketball and football is still going.
NBA, guys, has been our most successful venture. We
won almost 70% of our picks yesterday on Christmas.
And we're back to a hot start. We're back to the same kind of hot start that we were working on beforehand. This is one of the things that we do very well is within the NFL. We are very, we're very in depth. Amano knows his stuff with the NBA as well. He did a really good job within the NFL. He's had
we have people like Ryan, Chloe, and Trill. All of them are also in the chat. So you guys see Ryan on here all the time. Trill was just here with us. Very knowledgeable folks that can help you get some insight on these games. And even just to give you guys a little insight as far as yesterday, look at all the winners we had yesterday. We had Miami -3.5. We had the Bucks -9.5. We had the over on the Bucks game by 230.5 points. We had the Lakers at -6.5 with that over as well, and even had the Saints at -6.5. We're here. We're winning. We're putting money in pockets. All right? Take a picture with your hat. Caps lock. 3 months free.
So the God Parlay is set. I have the numbers. I've had it set up. And Imani, this would be not even close. Our biggest winner we would ever have. The money is ridiculous when we're coming out here. We're putting $5 on our bets, which I would like to say we're making pretty good calculated bets from everything that we have here, because I know we're making good calculated bets. Now, if you're putting $5, how much is $5? Can you make $5 in 2 seconds? I imagine you could. If you have that $5 to be put, you could put this on that parlay. What would you get in return? Oh, let's say $1,261. How about that? Wouldn't that be a nice little return? Now,
offer these picks below. You got the picks right here on the screen.
You got
Set it up.
You're feeling froggy with these? $2,523 for a $10 bet on these games. Look, again, these are our max bets. We will have those in a second. We're going to do Caps Lock next. But guys, I'm asking, hey, $5 investment, you're going to have fun. You could win. Listen, it's going to suck if you win 8 of 9 of these games and you don't get but at the end of the day, what's the worst you lose? You lose $5. It's fun. We enjoy doing it. We have the $5 to do it. We have the $10. If you hit, you made, some of you guys, I know some of the watchers, that's a paycheck to you. I know some of the people who watch the show, that's a paycheck to you. I know some of the people who followed on Discord, nothing. We see $1,000 profits every week. We see people winning thousands of dollars every week. This is nothing to us. If you guys are just joining the show, hey, this could be, hey, join us, have some fun, do this parlay. I'm going to put it in for $5. I may make another one, separately that I may put in the Discord chat that may be a little bit more, I may buy some things down, maybe do it a little bit, different. But you know what? I love the fun. I love doing it with the group that we had. And I think we got some winners here. So
yeah, shout out to the Gamble on Ginter community doing big things.
Caps lock, caps lock, caps lock. Now, this has been an absolutely cursed segment for me. Absolutely.
For you.
I have had some of the worst luck when it comes to some of these picks. I had Seahawks -5.5 last week. They won by 5. Thanks to Dwayne Haskins backdooring. A Dwayne Haskins backdoor. He celebrated by going to the strip club on a Dwayne Haskins backdoor cover. However, Amano's 2-0 and Ryan's 2-0. So
I think I'm 2-1 and Ryan's 2-1. We had the first week was a bit off, but the rest of the week.
Okay, we'll give you that. But so I'm gonna try and counterbalance it today. I actually have 2 for you. I have 2. We'll start with Ryan since he can't be in here.
I actually have 2 as well. So we're giving gifts out here.
Ryan's got a second caps lock.
Is he reaching out and mentioning? No, I have 2 caps locks actually.
You have 2? Oh, okay.
I have 2. Yeah.
So I have Ryan's caps lock. I have Ryan's got Indianapolis. I believe it's at -2 right now.
-1.5 actually on Bovada.
1.5. Okay, so that's really good line movement because I believe so you're getting 1.5 points. He loves Indy this week over the Steelers. I imagine that's on the way the Steelers have played lately. They have
3
not
losses in a row.
like a playoff team, even though they are a playoff team. Okay, Ryan. So Ryan says he has another for you. So Ryan, give us. Yes, I would like your second one. Give it to me. No, you know what? We'll do 1 and 1. We'll all do one each. Amano.
While he types that out, yes. Is he still typing it?
No, Amano, give us. So we're gonna do.
Oh, you want me to? All right, it's my turn. Okay. So my caps lock. The first pick I'll give. The line actually just moved on this, so I'm going to secure this in as one of my locks. Miami Dolphins -2.
Oh my God, he goes to the Dolphins.
Yes, at -2, and the Raiders are one of the worst home teams.
Straight to the well again. He loves the well. He loves fishing in that Dolphins well. It's the only year you can really fish in that well. My caps lock, the first game that I have, and I will give you guys. This is my first one. It feels like a square pick because I feel like there's very few conceivable ways to be on the other side of this game. But I don't see how this cannot hit. All last year, San Francisco struggled with mobile quarterbacks, and they struggled when they played teams like Arizona. They have to go into Arizona with a much worse team, a much hurt team. They are down to their third-string quarterback, where it's not like the third-string quarterback is just coming into the game and you weren't prepared. This is now a guy who you are game planning for in C.J. Beathard. You have Budda Baker, who maybe not that same, you kind of want him in that rover position, but a good matchup for a guy like Kittle. I got Arizona. Arizona's my lock. The first lock that I'm giving you today, it is probably my most confident pick. It is my 100% max bet. Put it on the Cardinals. It seems like a square pick, but you can't look so much into the numbers on this game. You got to look at the football, and Arizona's just a way better football team at this very point in time than San Francisco.
Okay. Did Ryan give us his second pick?
Got a second one for us, and he's taking a big-time road favorite for this game. He is taking a big-time road favorite. He's taking the Chiefs over the Falcons. He's adding that Patrick Mahomes will have 500 yards passing.
No, they're not road favorites. They're home favorites.
Are they at home for this game?
Yeah, they're home -10.5 is what it shows me right now.
10 at home against the Falcons. I like it. You don't go rich betting against Patrick Mahomes. This is one of the worst pass defenses. The Falcons have used up their 2 games, which they play great defense this year. So they're going to be back to Falcon football.
Absolutely. So my second pick. There's definitely. What was that?
Dolphins again.
I mean, yeah, I could go Dolphins again, but I'm not going to do that to the people. All right. Actually, in this one, what I'm actually going to go with in this case is I'm going to back up Trill Will. Baltimore -10 against the Giants. I think they could do it. They've actually been doing pretty solid. Baltimore, they've been bouncing back a little more. I think this is a perfect game for them to gain a little more momentum heading toward the playoffs, because I know they're going to fight for a playoff spot, and they need this game to kick that off. So I'm going to go Baltimore -10.
So my last one is going to be a shock. It's going to be a surprise based on a lot of the things that have been said on this show. This is not a team that a lot of people are on right now. And I think right now, using my logic, using a lot of the data that I use is where I found a little bit of peephole. One where I feel like this is one that Vegas is going to win big on. And it is the 1 o'clock game. It is the 1 o'clock game today. And I see a game where I don't think that either team really has trouble scoring. And I find it very hard that it'll be a double-digit game. I think they will keep it close. Using my logic and what I know about football, does it make me sick a little bit? but I'm very confident, but with a bunch of the data that I have been reading up to, that this will be a winner. You got to go. If you're at home and you're a double-digit dog, you got to take it. I got Detroit. Tampa Bay covering.
That one a lot.
10 points is a lot. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. The defense is great against the run. Again, Matt Stafford is going to throw this ball 60 times. He's going to throw the ball a bunch. I think they have enough weapons on Detroit where they'll make this interesting. DeAndre Swift is going to have a big game receiving out of the backfield. I like Tampa Bay as a whole. I think Tampa Bay secures a playoff spot today, but they don't do it convincing. Game. Give me Detroit. Give me the ball.
If you put $5 on our caps lock pick, you put $5 on our caps lock pick, you could win $232.76.
Wow, that's a big one. A lot of favorites from everything. I took the one underdog, where I think that's going to break a lot of people's heart this week. I gotta say, look, scanning through the lines, scanning through the public movement. It scares me on the Arizona game, just the same way it scared me on Seattle game last week. So really take that into account when you're doing a bunch of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's football. It's played on the field. It's not played, with numbers. There's ways that you can look and take advantage of the numbers. But I see in the Arizona game, I just think they're going to kill them. I really do. I can't see a conceivable scenario where San Francisco keeps them in that game. I think Ryan's got a good bet with Indy. He really likes KC. I love Baltimore this week. I really do too. I was very tempted on taking them as one of my cap block picks, but I knew Willie was going to take them, so I wanted to come with something different. But yeah, Baltimore, I love this week.
And then Miami -2. I don't know how you could not take that, but yeah, I think this is honestly this may be our strongest caps lock.
I think at least 6-0.
Yeah, at the least. At least
6-0. Weird caveat regarding that Dolphins game. Just to mention, it is a little bit sleepy because the line's going down. Line's going down on the Dolphins, who are just at +3. It opened at +2 for the Dolphins, but it just went up to -3 for the Dolphins. Went down. It's now at -2 for the Dolphins, and
now it just went to 2.5.
Yeah, I saw it on 2.5. It's -2 on most sites, though. The Dolphins are getting 68% of the bets. The money is following the Raiders. 56% of the money is following the Raiders at +3. It is a good home doggy matchup for the most part, but keep an eye on that movement. This game's going to fluctuate, I think, up until kickoff. I honestly, we're betting it now because we're on the show, but I think you're going to be able to get Miami at -1 or possibly at a pick 'em at really good value come kickoff.
Yeah, make sure you guys get those picks in now. Games are starting very soon. NCAA starts up in about 45 minutes. The first 1 p.m. game is about an hour 45 minutes away. Y'all make sure you tune in.
I got 2 that I'm going to be on for NCAA basketball. I'm going to mention real quick for you. Louisville, I'm really high on them against Kentucky. And anytime Gonzaga has an under double-digit spread, I don't care who the opponent is. If you're looking at this Gonzaga basketball team, and if you are not, you need to pay attention. They are the best college basketball team. And I don't think, other than maybe Baylor, I don't think it's close. They're playing Virginia, good team, -8.5. I'm hammering Gonzaga today. So I like Louisville against a 1-5 Kentucky team, and I like Gonzaga.
Okay.
Guys, make sure to give us a follow. Gamble on Ginter is where you find us on Instagram, Twitter, and we're also found on YouTube. Continue to watch the show on YouTube. If you missed any of it, you can go back on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe there. You can follow me at GTFresh36. You can follow Amano at a bunch of different places. where Amano give you out your information because I can't.
Well, I mean, if y'all just follow at Gamble on Ginter, you'll find all our information. But you can follow me at Only Amano, at Imano Talk, at the Icon Network. I'm a man of many, faces. Let's get it. But yeah.
Co-host Ryan Gabriel 24. Follow Trill NBF_Trill.
Shout out to Nothing But Facts, boys.
Follow Nothing But Facts. That's our Amano. This was our last show in the dreaded year of 2020. We will be back in 2021 with a fresh new episode. We are getting close to our favored Super Bowl episode. Guys, we are going big this year for the Super Bowl as we did last year. We're going to do something even bigger this year. So keep an eye on us. We're hoping for a big 2021. We're just, I think I can speak for most of us saying we're just glad to get out of 2020. Lost a lot of good people. So have a happy and healthy rest of your holidays, and a very happy new year, and we will see you next year.
Yeah. Much love, everybody. Take care.
Guys.